Tonight, we begin with a story that has ignited outrage and deep questions about federal power and accountability, a confrontation captured on video and now replayed across the country, raising urgent concerns about how immigration enforcement is being carried out in American cities. Stay with us and subscribe to this channel so you do not miss any verified updates as this story develops. At the center of the controversy is the...
Before we get to questions, I need to speak plainly about something that should stop every American in their tracks. Yesterday in Minneapolis, federal immigration agents killed another American citizen in broad daylight. His name was Alex Preddy. He was 37 years old. He was an ICU nurse, someone whose job was saving lives. Video shows him doing something he was trained to do, to help people. He was trying to reach over and help a woman in need when she was thrown to the ground by federal agents. And within seconds, federal agents threw him to the ground and fired a shot, not one, but a barrage of bullets into his body on a public sidewalk in America. The federal government claims the killing was justified. This nurse with nothing more than a cell phone in his hand, that he was trying to kill them. That's their story. But anyone who's seen this horrific video, multiple videos, knows that this is a shameless, bold-faced lie. This is not a threat that needed to be neutralized. It was a civilian exercising the free right to protest. And this is a continuation of a deadly pattern, a pattern of violence. It is well known that earlier this month, federal agents also shot a mother of three in the face when she just extended a greeting to him. 2 American families destroyed. Confidence in federal law enforcement shattered. At the same time, ICE agents are arresting children. A 5-year-old returning from preschool, using them as bait. A 2-year-old taken on the way home from a grocery store with her dad. Now we have children caught up in armed engagement, scooped off the street by masked men, while our federal leaders feed the false narratives instead of taking responsibility. But videos don't lie. And don't stop believing what your eyes tell you. Their cruelty, these incidences, what is going on and unfolding in the streets of America today, shocks the conscience of every human being with a heart. When federal agents use lethal force against civilians and then prevent state authorities from fully investigating, it violates the basic principles of a democracy. What it does is makes everyone feel unsafe. Everyone. Nationwide, over the last 13 months, ICE has detained hundreds of U.S. citizens, and dozens of people have died in their custody. Now, Donald Trump's handpicked leader of the Department of Homeland Security has proven to be unable and unwilling to follow the law to stop these killings. Kristi Noem has referred to these peaceful protesters as domestic terrorists and lied about the shooting victims being the aggressors. She told law enforcement officers to put on masks and military fatigues to basically treat the American public as the enemy. She has shown a profound disregard for human life and created a culture where people feel unrestrained in how they're handling encounters with the people in this country. Kristi Noem has forfeited her right to lead, and I'm calling on her to resign as Secretary of Homeland Security, or Donald Trump to do the right thing and just fire her. and if not, she must be removed or impeached. And Gregory Bovino, who has helped lead and defend and escalate these operations, should also be fired. It's a shame I have to say this in America, but no one is above the law. No one. Not an ICE agent, not a federal officer, not the President of the United States. And make no mistake, when these people who have abused the power entrusted to them by their offices are finally out of power, states, including New York, will hold them accountable. I'll have more to report on further actions the state of New York will be taking in the upcoming days. I'll take any questions.
Death of Alex Prey, a 37-year-old intensive care nurse in Minneapolis. According to witnesses and video reviewed by multiple outlets, Prey was present during a federal immigration operation and appeared to move toward a woman who had been forced to the ground. Supporters say his actions look like those of a medical professional responding to a perceived injury. Federal authorities say agents believed he posed a threat. What happened next is now under investigation. Gunfire, chaos on a public sidewalk, and a life lost. It is important to understand that official accounts and eyewitness accounts sharply diverge here, and that gap is exactly why independent review matters. For clear explanations and fact-based reporting as more evidence emerges, subscribe to the channel and stay informed. Why does this case matter beyond one tragic incident? Because it sits at the intersection of immigration enforcement, use of force, and civilian rights. Law enforcement agencies are allowed to use deadly force only when there is an imminent threat. Critics argue that the videos do not show such a threat, while federal officials insist agents acted in self-defense. This is not just about one decision in one moment. It is about standards, training, and transparency. When the public sees video that contradicts official statements, trust erodes fast, and without trust, even lawful policing becomes harder and more dangerous for everyone. If you want ongoing context and plain language breakdowns of these standards, subscribe now so you do not miss our next report. This case is also being linked by advocates to a broader pattern they say is emerging nationwide. Recent incidents involving immigration enforcement have drawn scrutiny, including arrests of very young children during operations with their parents. Legal experts note that while immigration law allows for family apprehensions in certain circumstances, best practice guidance emphasizes minimizing harm to children and avoiding unnecessary force. The concern raised by community leaders is that tactics meant for high-risk operations are being used in everyday encounters, which can escalate situations that might otherwise be resolved peacefully. Understanding that distinction helps explain why this debate has become so heated. For continued coverage that explains not just what happened, but why it matters, make sure you subscribe. There is also a larger civic lesson unfolding here. Video has changed the balance between official narratives and public perception. Decades ago, these cases might have relied solely on written reports. Today, multiple camera angles can surface within hours, forcing faster accountability, but also spreading misinformation if context is missing. That is why investigators will look at body camera footage, bystander video, dispatch logs, and forensic evidence before drawing conclusions. Patience and transparency are essential, and so is informed citizenship. Subscribe to this channel to follow each verified step as investigators work through the facts. As this story continues, two realities can be true at once. Federal agents operate in dangerous environments and deserve clarity and support, and civilians have the right to expect restraint, honesty, and respect for life. The outcome of this investigation will shape policy, training, and public confidence far beyond Minneapolis. We will keep asking the hard questions and explaining the answers in a way that makes sense. If you value reporting that is human, careful, and informative, subscribe now and stay with us.